Hey guys, Comics here, and today I will be covering Uzumaki Chapter 8 by Junji Ito. Now, this chapter seems a little less about obsession and more about karma. This chapter has elements of the classic Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, as you will see later on. Now, let's spiral into it. The chapter starts with a rainy day at school. Kiri and her friend talk about how it'll be raining for the next few days. They also mention how a classmate of theirs, Katayama, only comes into class when it rains. Speaking of the devil, Katayama slowly opens the door, all soaked from the rain. He apologizes for being late, explaining that he got up early, but it took a long time to get to school. Another classmate shots up saying how he is the slowest person ever. The teacher scolds Katayama for not using an umbrella and for only coming to class when it rains. The girls mention how mean Sumara is and how slow Katayama is. During gym class, they are playing volleyball, and Katayama misses an easy hit. Sumara pushes Katayama against the wall and yells at him for throwing the game. Poor Katayama gets harassed and bullied by other classmates by being stripped down naked and pulled out of the locker room. Embarrassed by what's happening, he turns over to show that he has a large spiral on his back. He slides back into the room. The next day, Katayama is late again to class, but now has a large spiral protruding out of his back. Kiri starts to panic when the spiral is taking over. Her friend mentions how he's starting to look like a snail now. The next couple of days, his transformation into a snail progressed more and more. He doesn't even bother wearing pants to school anymore. Katayama finds a new way to get to class by sliming up the school exterior walls. To finish his transformation, his eyes pop out of his head. The school faculty discuss what to do with him and call for his parents. When they arrive, however, they refuse to take him home because they don't recognize him. I mean, he's been slowly transforming into a snail, so how do you not know it's your son? Also, I like how in this universe, people are acting like this happens every school year. The classmates nudge him off the school wall and decide to take care of him in the house cage. The bully Sumara aggressively pokes Katayama's eyes with a stick. The girls plead him to stop, but he justifies his behavior by saying that it doesn't matter because he's not human anymore. Well, shit. I mean, you shouldn't do that to animals anyways, you little psychopath. On non-rainy days, Katayama would retract to his shell, nowhere to be seen. Sumara, on the other hand, is getting real thirsty and real slow and even absent from school. Kiri and her friend visit Katayama, worried that he might be dehydrated since it hasn't been raining. Her friend is afraid to feed him water though because she doesn't want to see his face. Well, that's kind of mean. Kiri says that they should do it anyways, but when he comes out of his shell, they run away. I mean, his face is not that bad. Compared to what we've seen in these past chapters, this is nothing. The next day, the teacher addresses Sumara's absence and look at who's sliding into the classroom. It's Katayama. Oh wait, it's actually Sumara. And remember when those girls ran from Katayama because of this face? Well, this is the face I'd be running away from. Oh my god. How do you not run away from that? Ugh. Hello, teeth. They put the snails together in the same cage and notice that they're getting along quite well. Oh, too well. The teacher realized they're mating despite their previous genders. Weeks later, they both escape the cage and left a trail leading to the hills. They find that one of them has laid eggs, and their teacher insists that they're not human anymore and to call them mollusk people, because that's what snails are. He suddenly stomps on the eggs, destroying them because he believes that they are disgusting and shouldn't even breed. He insists that they search for more eggs and the snails, but alas, they could not be found. The next day, oh god, Trypophobia activated. Oh god, I hate this. Fuck. I cannot. Now, what is this spiral all about and what does it mean? Well, this chapter is all about seeing others as humans. And just like the classic book Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, Junji takes the same theme of alienation and prejudice in his horror point of view. Now, Sumura never saw Katayama as a human being, which is why he felt it was okay to bully him. Now, this explains why Sumura also became a snail after Katayama. It's a commentary on how when you bully others, it's more a reflection of yourself than the other person. By that, I mean if you say the other person is slow or whatever, you're actually talking about yourself. And a lot of bullying stems from self-hate. So I feel Junji showcases this by making the bully a snail as well as the teacher, as he too treats the two students like they weren't human before. The fact that the teacher became a more disgusting snail compared to the kids is because he killed all their eggs and therefore became this beautiful trypophobia inducing texture type of snail. Ugh, nasty. I legit had trypophobia. I cannot handle that image. Ugh, disgusting. I also found that when you put the two students' names together, which is Katayama and Sumura, you create Katasumuri, which is Japanese for snail, which I thought was kind of fun. But now why did Junji Ito choose snails as the animal that the characters turn into? Besides the snail shell, yes, it is a spiral visually, but I also feel that he picked them because of the particular mating style that they have. It is true that snails are hermaphrodites, meaning that they have both the V and the D, and yes, they can both get pregnant and produce sperm. They also have what's called love darts, which is like literally a dart, and they poke each other with it to stimulate each other or increase reproduction. I'm not entirely sure. That part was really confusing. But I thought it was interesting that there was a scene with Sumaru poking Katayama as a snail with a stick, which is kind of preluding to what happened later. So I thought that was a little interesting scene to add in there. Metaphorically, though, it does seem to represent any discriminated group because of the gender fluidity and how the teacher treated them as the other and not humans, speaking to prejudice that some people go through, unfortunately. He even requests that the girls should call them mollusk people and not by their former names, and crushes the eggs because he believes it's unnatural and disgusting. Well, there were your students and they're snails, and they're still alive. And yes, it is weird that they turn into snails, but it's not like you didn't know them from before, so kind of weird. Metaphorically, it does seem to represent any discriminated group because of the gender fluidity and how the teacher treated them as the other and not as humans, which speaks to the prejudice that some people go through, unfortunately. He even requests that the girls should call them mollusk people and not by their former names, and crushes the eggs because he believes it's to be unnatural and disgusting. As we see later, the teacher becomes what he judges others as unnatural and disgusting. But even more so, I would argue, because of that trypophobia. Ugh. So, moral of the story, do not bully others because what you're saying about them is really a reflection of yourself. And you'll turn into a snail. But what do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you not agree? Let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe and like so you can see more covers. And I'll see you next time. Oh, I also have a Twitter and Instagram and Facebook if you want to follow my art journey as we go along. Other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye. Sweet dreams. Don't be a bully.